Okay, so let's start with the planning and installing. We have already done, right? We already covered like to install and disable a feature. Today we will cover exporting and importing data. Now this session will cover. Yeah, hi Amit, good morning. So the exporting and importing session today we'll talk about it. So this session will cover basically all the techniques that you use as a DBA in your day-to-day job from moving data from one place to other place. Okay, so as a DBA you will get these regular requests like, okay, give me this data, transfer this data from this database to this database, transfer this data from this server to this server, load data from this file or this Excel file to this table. Okay, so all day you will get this kind of request like throw data from here to there. So we will see today what are the options available to move data from one place to another place, or load data from file to table or from table to file. Okay, so uh, from practical point of view, this is I mean these are the things which as a DBA you will almost do every day. Okay, so almost every day you will use one of the things that we'll discuss in this session today. Okay, so uh, okay, first let's start with the wizard actually. Okay, meanwhile the PPT opens. Let's start with first option is let's discuss one of the most commonly used option, which is export import wizard. So how many of you have ever used it, export import wizard? Any of you ever used it?
Used it only once.
Okay, only once. Okay, no one else have used it. Okay,
I
okay,
don't know the limitations or the benefits of this tool.
okay,
Just I utilized it.
okay. So Narayan has used it, right? Okay, so
Yes.
let's start with export import wizard. Okay, so maybe you will also see few more things which you may not be knowing. For others, it will be like a new thing. So export import wizard is like as the name suggests, you can export or import. It's a very good wizard actually, very flexible in the sense you can use anything as source. When I say anything, it means you have two servers, so you can transfer data from table one of server one to table one of server two. Means across servers you can use it to transfer data, and it is pretty fast. Okay, so if you have a couple of lakhs rows which you want to transfer from one server to another server, you can use it from same server, from one database to another database. Let's say I have db1 and I have db2 on the same server, then also you can use it. And if you, let's say you have a text file or CSV file or Excel file, you want to load it into a database, then also you can use it. You have a table, somebody asked you to give the data in an Excel or in a text file, then also you can use it. It means it's absolutely flexible. Means you can have anything as source and anything as destination. Okay. In fact, you can use even database from other sources like Oracle, DB2, all those. So it's a very flexible tool. I mean, anything can be a source, anything can be a destination. So in this exercise, let's say I want to transfer. Somebody asked you like, okay, give me data of some table of DB triple nine in a text file. Let's say somebody asked you, okay, they said like, can you give me data in or Excel for that matter? Okay, Excel is more common in industry. So somebody asked you like, can you share the data in an Excel format from blah 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 table? So the quickest way is not using export import. I mean, if it's a small data, let's say only 10,000 rows, then what do you guys think? What is the fastest way? I mean, anything else which you can use apart from export import wizard? I have to transfer, let's say, 5,000 rows from a table to an Excel sheet. Your manager asked the data in an Excel sheet. How do you do that?
We can create a query and output we can export Excel. Save
Yeah,
as in
yeah.
Excel.
So that is one option, save as you can do, and then we saw that like export to file, right? We have already seen that. Apart from that, you can simply copy paste, right? So that's like the simplest and easiest way. So if the amount of data is less, it has to be given in Excel. Just copy paste. Okay. So there is no harm in that. But always remember, if you are in a remote server means when I'm saying when you are like connected to some other machine in US, you are sitting in India, you are actually into the box of US. You have done RDP. Okay. So that time you should not be doing this copy paste, because you will be transferring a lot of data across network from one server to another server. Then it will be very slow. So what I mean to say is, let me show you. So let's say I have this box. Okay. So now if I connect to it remotely, this machine is actually in US. Okay. So uh, if I connect to it, and then the SQL server is inside this machine, and I just do select star from some table, and then I copy that data, then it may not be good actually. This option may not be a good option. Okay, I clicked on database diagram. So let's say I have some tables here, and let me connect to this. When you are in a remote machine, then this is copy paste only a small amount data. I mean, some 10-20,000 rows maximum is good. If you copy 50 lakh rows like this, it won't be a good option. Or for that matter, even if it's 10 lakhs, still it would not be good. So what I mean is, like, let's say I run some table here, and then if I try to copy from the query, I copy paste from here, and then I just open an Excel here, and then I say okay, paste. Then it won't be a good option. Okay, so remember this. So small amount of data, 5-10,000 rows is okay. If it is like 1 to 3 lakhs, it's not a good option. It will slow down your server. It will consume memory of your remote server. So your production server or your actual server may face slowness. Or in fact, if it is a very huge data, let's say 50 lakhs, your session will even get hanged actually. Maybe for 15 minutes, 20 minutes, you will not be able to do anything on the remote server. Okay. So for small amount, that is good. For large amount, no, that is not good. We'll talk about other options. So here, let's say I want, let's say EM to master. So I say select star from this, or let's say only top 10,000. Oh, it doesn't have anything. So let's say I got these 10,000 rows. Even 10,000 will be big actually, because it's 8,000 bytes. Every row is 8,000 bytes. So let's make it just 100. So quickest way is, I mean, I'm not mentioning this thing in the session, but I'm just telling you practically the best approach is like run it. You got your data, right click, save, copy with headers, copy with headers. Okay, save as also you can use, or copy with headers and paste. Copy paste is like most convenient thing in IT industry, right? Just copy and paste. That's it. So uh, this is fine. So like this, you can copy paste, save it, and then share with your manager. So this is the quickest way. But let's say you don't want to use it, you want to send the data in a text, or you want to send data from one table to another table, then you can use export import wizard also. Same thing you can achieve with export import also, whatever we did. But in export import, you will have 7-8 steps, next. So better run the query, copy paste. That's it, simplest. But let's say if you have to do it with the export import wizard, then let's see how do you do it. Now one more thing, Excel has a limitation, right? It can have, I think, some couple of lakhs, 9 lakh something columns. So if you have to provide somebody 50 lakh rows, of course you cannot use Excel sheet then. For 50 lakh rows, you will use mostly text file. Okay. So text file is the one that you will use if number of rows is pretty large. They cannot be saved in Excel. So Let's use export import wizard. So for example, from this database, I want to send all my data, or let's say 10,000 rows from this table to a text file. So to run export import, right click on database, go to task, go to export or import data. You can choose any actually. Okay, it doesn't really matter. If you choose export, it means you are sending data out from your database. So you have already clicked on the source, so you will not need to fill the source. Automatically it will be picked. If you choose import, it means you want to load data in this database from somewhere. So destination will be picked automatically since you have already clicked on it, and source you will need to pick. But doesn't matter actually. You can click on any of them, and you can change it later during when the wizard appears. So let's say I want to send some data to text file, so I choose export. When I click on export data or import data, I will get a wizard which will take me through some steps, and then we will be able to get the data. So this wizard will have first is welcome screen, skip it. Now you see choose the data source at the top. Since I have chosen export, ideally it should give the source by itself, but I don't know, from 2016 onward it has started till 2012 it used to fill. In 2016, I mean, maybe it's kind of a bug you can say, or misfunctionality you can say. It no longer automatically picks it. In 2012, 8R2 it used to pick. Now you see data source automatically it didn't choose SQL Server, it chose some .NET framework, blah blah, MySQL. So you have to change it. Earlier it used to come automatically SQL Server, so you have to change it. You have to go to SQL Server native client, or you can use this one, OLED provider for SQL Server. Either these are all basically provider connectors you can say for a database. So you can choose any of
What
these.
is this difference between native client and SQL Server?
Uh, Native client and OLEDB provider, the difference is the OLEDB provider, it's like object linking and embedding and database provider. So it means this is a provider which you can use even in Oracle. So let's say you are using Oracle database and you want to connect to SQL Server from Oracle. So you will need to have some provider which can make a connection from your Oracle to your SQL Server. Then you will use OLEDB provider. Okay, so OLED provider is basically across our DBMS connectivity from MySQL to SQL, Oracle to SQL Server, like this, or Sybase to SQL Server. Then you will
Okay.
use OLEDB provider. Native is like local. This is a local client, so only for SQL to SQL connectivity. But this
Okay.
OLEDB provider also works from SQL to SQL also. So that's why I said you can choose any of these actually.
Oh,
So
oh,
let's say I choose OLEDB. So server name automatically came, database name automatically came. Why it came? Because I right clicked on the DB999. Whatever database you will right click, that will be chosen as a source automatically. So my source is ready. I go to next. Where you want to send it? So I told you like anything can be a source, anything can be a destination. Source is chosen, destination my choice. I can choose anything. I can send this data to Excel. I can send this data to text file, which is shown as flat file here. Okay, so this is actually text file, or I can actually send it to Oracle. I can send it to MySQL. I can send it to some other SQL server. Okay, so for this example, let's say I want to send it to let's say text file. So this bottom one, it will come different depending upon the option that you choose. If I choose SQL server, it will ask like which SQL server you want to send it. What is the destination server? So here, let's say I give some file. I can give some path like I want all my data. Let's say here I call it my DB or log test, not DB. Let's call it my data. Okay, my data for log test table. And I say open. So this flat file is actually a delimited file. What do you mean by delimited? Is like there will be some delimiter in the file. It can be a tab. It can be a comma. There you call it CSV file. It can be a space. It can be a hash. Anything. Okay. So format is delimited. So default is tab, it will be a tab delimited file. Do you want to keep column names also at the top? So I ticked it. So yes, I should also get column names at the top. And yeah, that's it. So normally it will be delimited file, and path you give. The rest of the things you don't change. So I say next. So I've chosen source, I've chosen destination. Now it will ask me, okay, which tables you want to send, right? So you can copy data from one or more tables, or write a query. So it gives you both options. Maybe I just want to write a query. Select star from this table where ID is greater than 5,000, something like that. Okay. If I don't choose this option, it will copy entire table. So this table could be very big. So better we choose write a query. Okay. So I will write select top 100. You can give column names also. I don't want all columns. I want only two columns. So you can give column 1 comma column 2, and then I give the log. You can parse it. Parse it means check the syntax. I already told you this option. It's a right tick box at the SSMS at the top. So parsing means you check the syntax, like whatever query I wrote, whether it's correct or not. It can be a complex query. It can be like select top 100 star from this table, join this table, left join this table, right join this table, lot of joins with where clause, everything. So it can be any SQL query actually. So this is flexible where you can just give a query and fetch only the required data which you want to share. Then I say next. Here it will ask me like how you want to delimit it. So it will come as comma delimited. So I don't want it delimited. I want a tab actually. Okay. And you can preview also. You can see some of the data. It will show you some top data. I selected 100. So if you just select everything, it will not show complete data. It will just show a couple of thousand rows. So you can see what data is going to be loaded in my file. Row delimiter we leave it default. CRLF means enter. Means first row should be in first row will in first row, then enter, second row, then enter, then third row, like this. So CRLF is actually enter. Okay. So after every row there will be an enter, and then I can say next. Save and run package. Now this is like what actually this wizard is doing behind the scenes. It is actually creating a SSIS package. Since we are not talking much about SSIS in this training, so I just want to convey that if you want to do this thing again and again, let's say it's your daily job, you want to do this load top 100 record, you do every day, you load it every day. So you don't have to run this wizard again and again daily. You can automate all this thing. Okay. So what you can do is you can save this as SSIS package. An SSIS package will be saved, and you can create a job. We'll talk about jobs later. You can create a job and then schedule it to run every day. So all your task is automated now. So you don't have to run anything automatically every day at 8 a.m. This text file will be generated. So as a DBA, this is a golden rule. You should try to automate as much stuff as you can so that your life is easy. Otherwise, you will keep struggling with things. I have seen like junior DBAs, they are entire day they are struggling with things, doing this, doing that because no automation. So if there is anything which you feel is repetitive, try to automate it so that you get some free time. You are relaxed. The more you go with automation, more easy is your life. Like in this particular case, I told you, you can create exercise package, schedule it with a job, and then your life is cool now. You don't have to even remember it. Automatically, it will be done every day. If you try to do it manually, every day you have to be present at your seat and doing it manually. Good chances are you will miss it someday. Okay, so I'm not going into exercise package, so I will just run it, and then I say next. It will show me the summary, and I say finish. Done. Okay, header was transferred. Close. So if I come to dcam, I should see a file, right? It's a big file actually because lot of data in every row. But if I can open it, I mean, you will see the same data. I really don't want to open it. It will take 20-30 seconds. Big file, close to 1 MB. So this data you will see there in this file. Okay. So this is how you will use this export import wizard. So this was one example where you transferred your data from one table to a text file. Now let's say if I have to load data from one server to another server, this is another very common requirement you will get as a DBA. So let's say this is your production server, or maybe let's say performance environment, and some developer asks like, I want to debug some data, I want to debug some bug, and I need live data in so and so table in development environment. It's a very common requirement as a DBA you get in any company. Okay, so the application team will request you, we want to debug something, we don't have live data, can you please provide us live data in this table, can you load live data in this table? So at that time also you can use export and import wizard. So just to give you one more example, now one thing you should know, that when I'm saying you use export import wizard to send data from one server to another server, it means from your same screen you should be able to connect to both servers. Otherwise, how will you send it? You will not be able to send it. So let me start the second server also. So from same window you should be able to connect actually, otherwise you cannot send. So what I mean to say is, you are working on your local server, of course you cannot connect to your production server from same window, because first thing you will not have access, second thing domain will be different most likely. So you cannot directly transfer data from your production to your local, or from your local to your production, right? So you will be able to transfer data across servers which are accessible from this single window. It means you are able to connect to both servers in the same window. Otherwise, uh, you will have that connectivity problem. So from test server, maybe you will be able to transfer data to QA server, from test server to dev server, or from dev server to QA server, or from per server. But most likely, you will never be able to do it from production server, because production server is always, you will, first thing you will not have access. Second thing, it will be in a different domain. It will be hosted in a separate secure domain. So this trick will not work there. Okay, so this is to transfer data locally or across servers which are in same domain or which are accessible from same window. So for example, let's again take that example. I want to transfer some data from same table to some other table on server 2. So this time, oh, it's better to type actually the server name. Otherwise, what happens is, whenever you click this drop down, it takes at least 15-20 seconds display the list of all servers. So with time you feel that typing is better actually, instead of clicking and waiting for the list. Seems like I clicked on the import, because it's, so I choose source as one, and which database I want to use, DB 999. Okay, next, what is the destination? I want server 2, so it's again a SQL server. So I will say this, and I want this to be server 2, and which database on server 2? Let's say I want to transfer it in DB456. Next, complete table or some specific query. You can send, in fact, multiple tables actually. You can not only one table. You can say like, I want to transfer this table, and you see one thing. You see this like table and that some shining type of logo. It means this table is not present there. It will be created. If some table is already there, its icon will come like this. So if you are loading data from one table to another table, the second table already exists, then you will get this type of icon. It means you are loading data in an existing table. You are appending data. If you are getting this type of icon, these tables don't exist on server 2. So they will be created and then data will be loaded. Okay, so you should know this difference, like why this icon is like grade and why this icon is like this. So
It will append the table or override the table.
if the table doesn't exist, then of course it will create it and then load it. If it already exists, then it will append the data.
It will not overwrite on that table.
No, it will not overwrite. And if there is a like primary key constraint and then you are loading duplicate, then it will throw error.
Okay.
So in this case, we are going to have two new tables will be created in DB456. And you can see the mappings also. Mappings also means employee ID will be created as employee ID. If you want to change it to some other name, generally we don't, because we want to keep it confusing. Otherwise, you can make it like employee ID. You can type it like this also. So it will create a new column like employee ID full, not EMP ID. Generally, we don't change it. We want to keep the structure same, schema same. So I say, okay, so I want these two tables. Then I say next, or you can preview also. There was a button for preview. It's always good to preview just to see like what data will go. So these are blank tables actually. There is no data in either of them. So what it will do, it will just create those blank two tables. That's it. Next, finish. It will not transfer anything because tables are blank, but of course if there was anything, then it would have got transferred. But you can see that these tables should have come to this server now, DB456, employee master and T1, right? So they got created, and if there was any data, you will get the data also. Remember, you will not get any indexes or constraints apart from primary key. Nothing will come here. Okay. This table will come as like a plain table. Only column names, data types, and primary key will come. Rest of the constraints like unique constraint, foreign key constraint, check constraint, default constraint, those things will not come. Default, I think it will come. Default constraint probably comes. But it's like getting data only, not the complete structure. No indexes will also not come. So this is how you use it. Okay, so this is a very important wizard. It has a lot of practical utility. It's easy. Just click next, and you are done. Now, coming back to one more question. Let's say somebody asked you large amount of data. There is a table called, let's say, T underscore transaction, and which has 400 GB of size. To debug a problem, application team wants a backup, a copy of this table in their development server. Then how will you do it? What do you think? What would be a good approach here? Large amount of data. This is also a practical request. As a DBA, you will definitely get it. You will definitely get it sooner or later. Someday you are going to get this kind of request. Large amount of data to be given from production. What do you think? Any ideas? Anything coming to your mind? Like we can do this.
Can we backup of only one table or something?
No. See, in SQL Server, backup is always at database level. There is no backup
Okay.
in SQL Server at table level. Okay, so Excel, of course, cannot have this kind of data. 400 GB means there will be several crores of records. So Excel cannot hold this.
Is there any bulk option there?
Yes, that's the solution actually. There is a utility called BCP, bulk copy program. So that's the fastest way to transfer large amount of data. Always remember this. BCP is the fastest way to transfer data from one server to another server, or maybe within same server also. So bulk copy program uh, is fastest way. It by default it loads the data in 10,000 batch size. So 10,000 in one shot, 10,000 in one shot, like this. It will do it in the fastest possible way. Export import wizard is also good, but the thing is it will take a lot of time. First thing. Second thing is there will be no direct connectivity between development and production server. So you cannot use export import wizard, right? As I said, like both servers should be accessible in the same window. So production and dev, they are never in the, you can never access them in the same window. So they are disconnected servers, you can say. One server in another domain, in a different world, another server in a different world. So now you have to transfer data. Okay. So in that case, if the data size is big, then BCP is the best option. If it's like 5,000 rows, then no problem. You can just run the query in the production, copy paste those 5,000 rows in Excel, copy that Excel to your local, and then using export import, load those 5,000 in your development server, right? So small amount of data is easy to manage. Large amount, then this is the option. So let's go to second option, BCP. So export import we have covered. Let's talk about BCP. So BCP is basically a utility. It's a exe. When you install SQL Server, it gets installed. So it will be like somewhere in C program files. Maybe in material I have given the path of it, like where you can find it. So I would want to show you that. The, the path is written in this material actually, where you can find that BCP. And probably we will need some scripts also. So BCP is bulk copy program. It's an exe utility which you get when you install SQL Server, and it is installed somewhere in your C program files, SQL servers, some bin folder, I think. So I'll just show you the path. So let's see how do you use BCP, bulk copy program. This is very important actually. BCP is very important because for handling large amount of data, this is the best option in SQL Server. And these days, like having 10, 20, 30 GB data is a normal thing. So if you have such type of table, then BCP is your best buddy. So let's see how do you use BCP. So first thing is BCP is run from the command prompt. Okay, it's not run from the SSMS window. So you will need to run command prompt, which you run like this, CMD. You can like go to start and command, open the command. So DOS command, it will be run from the DOS command. It will be run from here. How do you run it? This is how you run it. You say BCP, then you give a query. You can give a query also. You can give just complete table name also if you want full table. So here, let's say I want to load only some 50 records, for example. So let me copy paste this query and paste it in my. So I want, let's say, top 50 are from, you have to give complete database name dot dbo dot like this. Otherwise, by default, the database is master, so you will keep getting error. Okay, running BCP first time is always a pain. Actually, you might face a lot of errors, connectivity related, or not able to reach to the database. So what you should do is uh, you should give complete name here first thing. Like my name should be like this: db999 dot dbo dot this. Like it's a, we call it name modified with database. I mean, I'm explicitly telling it go to this this schema, and then this table. DBO is a schema. We'll talk about schemas in security chapter. So this is how you give it. So no difference in data, nothing. Everything is same. But if you don't give this, it will try to search this table in master and it will give error. Like there is no such table. Okay. So, You got to be careful about it. Let's say you want to replace this one. In this copy paste, how it works is you can just like either right click, sorry, you can paste it one more. You have to mark it, right? Or you can just select it like this, and then whatever query you copied, you just press enter. You don't control V will not work here. Okay, so you just select where you want to paste the copied query and just press enter. Automatically it will paste. So I just pressed enter. So let me do this and press enter. I did not copy this, I think. Control C. Why it's not coming? Copy is not working, I think. Or maybe let me form the query. I don't know. My copy paste is not working. So I will just take this query and then I will prepare the complete query here. Like this here, and then you say query out. If you are getting output from a query, you should say query out. It means I want output of this query. Where I want it? I want it in DTM and give it any name as log123.txt. Then there are some parameters, and this is where you struggle initially. These parameters has to be correct to make a good connection. So minus C is for connection, so you have to give it minus C, and it's case sensitive. Okay, don't make it capital C. Minus small c. So it means I want to make a connection, and these are my connection parameters. So minus T is trusted. Trusted means window authentication. I will not be giving any username or password. So if you are using a SQL login, I mean, you are not using window authentication, then you should not give minus T. Then you should give minus U and then username, minus P and then password. So if you give minus U minus P, then don't give minus T. If you give minus T, then don't give minus U minus P, because you are not giving username and password. So I keep it trusted, and then minus S is your server name. How do you get your server name? Sometimes like it's a big name, so I don't want to type it. So the quickest way is direct server name. This is a short command to know the exact name of your server. So this is my server name. I copy this full command and I delete all this thing. It's trying to make a connection. Actually, it will give error, and then I will be able to use it. Maybe I can open another post command meanwhile. I paste it here. Okay, and then let's run it. So what it will do, top 50 record from this table will be picked and they will be sent to this text file, and it will be very fast. Even if it's like several lakhs, it will be very fast. Even if it's crores, then it will take a couple of minutes, but this is the fastest way to load a data in a text file. So I need 50 rows of it. So it will be really fast actually. So you can come here and then see whether the text file is created. We should see that file, right? It came, and it came very quickly. So you can open it and see it if you want. Like this it will come. It will not give you column names. Okay, it will just give you data. So all my data is loaded now. Now let's say I ran this command in production. So I got a text file. If it's a 400 GB, then maybe it will take 15-20 minutes, and then I will have a text file which is 400 GB. The next thing will be right click and then compress it. Make it zip file. Make it zip. Text file is can be highly compressed. So your space will become like, let's say, if it was 400 GB, maybe it will become 4 GB. Okay, it's generally reduced by 80 to 90%. Why I'm zipping it? So that I can easily copy it to my local. Otherwise, copying a 400 GB file is a pain in itself. You will not be able to copy it. So, so this is how you copy data from local production to local. Export it using BCP, zip the text file, copy it to your local, and then once it is on local, then you can again use BCP to load it. Okay, you can use export import wizard also, but that will be very slow. There are good chances that it will run for 1-2 hours, and in between it will lose the connection. So you will find it painful to load big data using export import wizard. So again, we will use BCP to load it. So this is how you load table to text. Now I will tell you how do you do reverse of it from text to table. Like in production it was table to text. In development it will be text to table, right? So we'll just cover it. We'll just see it like how do you load it from text to table. Before that, if you have any questions, you can ask, like up to this point, how we did this, or any other questions coming to your mind. It's clear? Okay.
Can you come again? What is the minus C means? I just
Minus C, minus C is for whenever you have to make a connection, you are telling it minus C means make connection, and then you specify connection parameters. So minus C is for connection.
Okay, thank you.
So you have to write it. If you don't write it, it will not make the connection. Okay, so I got the text file on my local. Now I want to load it. I want to load this text file to my table. So for that, I will use, this was query out. Now I will use BCP in. So how do you write in? This is how you write in. Okay. So here, let me prepare this query first. In which table you want to load it? Let's say I want to load it on server 2, for example. Okay. I want to load this table, or maybe let's say same server. Let's assume that my table, this table is blank. Okay. T table, whatever name you are using. And this table, let's truncate it and then load it with this the text file. Let's truncate it. Difference between truncate and delete is very important. You should definitely know this. You can study it in the TSQL material I shared. So truncate is very fast. So table is empty now. Now let's load it with the text file that we had. So I gave it a name, this. Now my data is in this file at dtemp. So dtemp, and this is my text file, and this is my table name where I want to load it. And then instead of query out, you will say in. Means in data should be sent in this table from this location. And then minus C, minus S, minus T. Now you see the sequence of these parameters is not important. Minus T you can put after C also, you can put it in the end also, but all should be there. They can be in any other order is not important, but they should be there. So let's say I want load data in this empty table only. This is my complete query now. Now I'm saying on this server, use Windows authentication and load data from this text file to this particular table. This is my complete load command now. Just return the DOS and then say enter. Done. So if I see this query, I should get 50 rows, right? We got back our data. So this is how you do loading data in a text file, copy the text file, and then load it back in some other server or another table at some other place. So this is the fastest way for large size data handling.
Can you
Here you were having blank table, but how to get the table structure also?
See, table structure in BCP, you will not get the column names. So you should know that if you exported data from production, the table structure is same as production. Okay, or maybe since you have a query here, let's say you have 50 columns in production and only 10 columns in development. So you can say like select column 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 10 from this, and then you get that only for those 10, and then load that. The column should be same. I mean, if you have like 10 column at the top and 11 at the bottom, it will not work. It will throw error. So maintaining structure, correct structure is your responsibility. BCP is not going to do anything about that. It will just throw error.
And if the table is present, same table is present, then it will copy the table or append the table.
It will append the table. It will not truncate anything. It will not delete anything. Yes, Narayan, you were asking something.
Yeah, please copy these queries in.
It is there. It's there in the material that I shared, and it is.
Okay, fine.
Yeah, and I always say keep this as reference. Otherwise, I'm telling you, you will struggle a lot with the BCP. It looks very simple when I'm running it, but when you will run by yourself without this help, and then you will struggle actually. You will not be able to give these parameters correctly, or something you will miss. I mean, it's difficult in the first attempt.
Yeah, sure.
Okay, so use it as a reference. So this is how you query out, and then how you in. You can also, if you don't want to give a query, you want the complete table, then you don't have to give a query. You can just say, if you want entire table BCP, just table name, and instead of query out, just say out. It means I'm not giving a query, just out this complete table in this text file. So this is how you load, or simply you can also say select star from table name and query out. That will also work. Same thing.
सर ये पैरामीटर और एक्सप्लेन कर दीजिए.
Okay, these parameters. Okay, so these parameters are like, you see, let me explain with this, because here I have shown with username and password. First you write -c, means I'm going to make a connection. I'm opening a connection. So -c for that, small c. -s and then server name, means this is my server name. -s is server name. Then if it's a SQL user, then -u, and then you give username. Let's say my name is Suresh. It's my login, and then -p is password. My password is #123. Okay. So if you are using SQL authentication, then you use these 4 parameters. If it's a window authentication, then you use only 3: -c, -s for server, and -t is trusted connection. Trusted connection means Windows authentication. Okay. So window authentication 3 parameter, SQL authentication 4 parameter.
Okay, sir.
Clear?
Clear, sir.
So this is important actually, because when you have a big data to deal, it's the best way, fastest way actually. Okay, so for disconnected servers, large amount of data, you use BCP. So now you see like different things are different scenarios have different solutions. So if it's a very small data, you just run the query, copy with headers, paste it. Easy solution. Large amount of data, go with BCP. Connectivity between two servers, and you want to export import across servers, and both can be connected from same window, go with export import. Want to load a lot of data into in a text file or CSV or Excel file, go with export import. So different scenarios have different solutions. So when you face the situation, it will click actually. Now you know, like, okay, these are the options available to me. You will know as soon as you get that option available, you will know, like, okay, this is how I can do it. There are 2 more options which are like rarely used. Okay, so not 2 actually. There are 2 more, I think, or 3 more. Yeah, 3 more. So these are not rarely used. Okay, select into is commonly used. Select into, I already told you, it's like a bulk operation, right? Select into was a bulk operation. So if you want to create a quick backup of a table, you just do select star into some new table from old table, right? Select star into we already covered, but this is how you you do it. Select star into this from this. So person phone, you want to make a copy of this table, so you give a new name, person phone copy, and then done. Now when you do this, select into all, remember that these are the things that will be copied actually. I mean, when you say select into this, the new copy will have what? It will have same column names, same data types, nullability means null not null, and all the data. Any index, constraint, triggers, nothing is copied. It will be a plain table with all columns and data. Okay. So this is an important point to know. Like select into will not make exact copy of table. It will make copy of data only, not all index, all constraints, and everything will not go. So select into is the third option. You can transfer data from one table to another table. Then two more options, bulk insert. Bulk insert also is a bulk operation. I told you, right? In the bulk log recovery model, I told three bulk operations: bulk insert, select into, and create index. This is again a bulk operation. We rarely use it. Okay, so what it does is bulk insert, then table name, and then from you tell the text file name, and then you specify what is my field terminator. Field terminator means all columns, how my columns are separated. So I'm telling it by tab. This is a tab. How rows are terminated, slash n. It means whenever you see a enter, row terminator means new row. Okay. So slash n means new row. So here you see one, and then it says okay, one tab. It means next column has came. Okay, then next, then enter. After this there will be an enter right here. First after first row ends here. So there is an enter. Next row starts in the new line. So slash n is that. So to parse this file, I need to tell only two things: how columns are separated, how rows are separated. So if it faces a tab, it means new column. If it faces a slash n, it means new row. So like this, it will keep reading this, and then it will load in my address to table. Now, can you guys tell me, like, of course, I can achieve the same thing with BC export import and with BCP also. In what scenario you might need this? Why would I need it then? Okay, I already have export import wizard. I already have BCP, and if I want to load a text file in a table, I can use any of them. Any specific scenario you can think of where I will need this? Export import and BCP will not work.
Because of the data size.
No, data size. If data size is big, then BCP is best. I told you, nothing beats it. So this will be used. As you can see, it's a command actually, which you can run from TSQL itself. Rest of the things you saw, I have to right click and export import wizard will open manual intervention. You have to manually go there. BCP also, you have to open DOS command. Everything will run on DOS. Of course, you can run those commands from SQL also using XP shell. Maybe I will talk about it later, but it's not permitted in most production environments. So if I have to do this thing in a command, so what does it mean? If I have to load a text file in a procedure, I have a procedure and I want to do it automatically, right? So export import is manual thing. You have to open the wizard, do click next. You have to sit and do it. Same BCP, you have to sit and run the command. What if I want to do it automatically through a procedure? Then you will have to type a command. Okay, so if you ever face this situation, you have to load a text file inside a procedure or through TSQL, then this is your option, bulk insert. Okay, so that's the case. That's the specific scenario where you have to use bulk insert only, but that's very rare actually. I mean, you rarely load a text file from procedures. We normally use SSIS for that. Okay, this is not a very good option, I will say. But I have seen it in some rare occasions where you really don't want to go with new installation like SSIS and nobody is there who knows SSIS in your team. So it's a workaround, like quick workaround. Just write this command and you will be able to load it. Okay. So I don't think this table works on my machine. I have some issue with this command on my laptop. Maybe I can try it. Shall we try it? Let's run it. Let's see. Somehow it doesn't work actually. I mean, other people are able to run it, but my laptop, on my installation, there is some issue. Btm. I want to load it in this table. Let's run it. Let's see. It says. Why? Am I on? Oh, I'm on server 2 actually. Okay, so you should change because you can see I'm on server 2. That's why I got this error. So we have to go to server 1. You can change your connections like this. Right click, connection, change connection. Okay, so it's commonly used option. Quick and common. Finished. I want to go into DB 999. Now let's run it. Now I am in my actual server 1. Yeah, some issue with my OLEDB provider. I don't know. I get this error. Never got time to fix it. But you guys try it. Most likely it will work on your machines. It has, because of some issue with my OLEDB provider, this bulk command doesn't work. You try it on your laptops, it should work. So bulk insert, select into. There is one more option which is even rare actually. Hardly we use it. Open row set. I mean, you will find it very rare. Okay, so open row set is used when you want to obtain data. You are sitting on server 1 and you want to obtain data of server 2. For that, normally we use linked server. We will talk about linked server. That is an important topic. So that is done using linked server. We don't use open row set. Okay, I have hardly seen anybody using open row set, but this option is there. So just for your knowledge purpose, I'm telling it. So uh, you don't need to spend too much time on it. You just know that there is something called open row set, and you can pull data from one server to another server using it. But for to use open row set, you need to make some configuration changes. So we talked about this SP configure, right? If you remember, I told you like server level configurations. I showed you a lot of configurations, and then I told you like as time goes, I will show you some options. So this is one of them. So to use open row set, there is a configuration called ad hoc distributed queries. Now, what is a distributed queries? A distributed query is a query which connects two servers in the single query. It means I'm loading data on server 1, but data is coming from server 2. So two servers are involved in a single query. So that's why it's a distributed query. So to use distributed query, this setting, ad hoc distributed query, should be set to 1. So I first enable the advanced options to see this option. It's an advanced option. And then I run it and then I reconfigure and now I'm ready to use ad hoc distributed queries. So this is how it works. Select star into also you can run, or you can just say select star from also you can run. Let's run select star from, and then there are some parameters inside it. Okay, so these parameters are linked to your server only, which from where you want to pull the data. So let's say I want to run this query. This is the syntax of it actually. Whatever you see here, select star from open row set. So instead of table, this is my table now. Select star from table name. This is the syntax. So select star from, and this acts like a table. So it returns me a row set. So inside the row set, you have to write these things. First is SQL NCL1. This is the name of the SQL Server provider, SQL NCL1. Like we use like SQL OLEDB provider, right? So the name for that is SQL NCL1. So this is fixed. So you have to give this. Then you have to give your server name. So my server name is this. Trusted connection means window authentication. Yes, that's it. So now I want to pull data from server 1. So ideally let me go to server 2. Let me change my connection to server 2. I want to sit on server 2 and then pull data from server 1. Now you see I am on server 2, but this table is on server 1. So if everything is good, I should be able to get this data. So this is a good thing actually, right? You are sitting on server 2, but still you are sitting in US server and you are pulling data of Australia server. If I run it, uh, this component, oh, I turned it off. It's saying Adobe distributed query is turned off. Why? I ran it. Okay, I ran it on server 1 actually, right? So I should enable it on server 2 also. Now let's try. Yeah, we got it, right? So I'm on server 2, but the data that I see here is from server 1. So we will learn about link server also. That's we generally use to do this kind of thing, sitting on server 1 and pulling data out some other server. So that I will cover in link server chapter. But apart from link server, if you link server is like a permanent object, you create it here and it's permanently created in your server. So if you want to run like one time type of query, ad hoc query you want to run. So for that, nobody will allow you to create a link server. So if you just want to pull the data just once, then you can use this query. Just run the query, get your data, and then that's it. You don't have to create any object. Link server is an object that will be permanently created. So if it's an ad hoc query, then you can use OpenRoseT. Then this is your only option, OpenRoseT. Okay. So any questions?
Link might be using OpenRoseT internally.
Not sure. Maybe other way around also. OpenRoseT internally, yeah, OpenRoseT of course cannot use because even if I don't have link server, still it will work. But yes, it may be the case. Internally, how it is written, I have never tried to look into that, like how internally link server functions. But yes, you are right. It may be doing that. Maybe doing that. Okay, so that's all. I mean, I showed you 6 ways actually, not only 5. I have written 5 here, but select star from table name and copy with headers is one option. So export import wizard very commonly used, BCP very commonly used, select into very commonly used, copy with headers very commonly used, bulk insert open row set rarely used. So these are your ways to throw data here and there in your environment. Okay, so as a DBA, it's a good thing to know like how can you throw your data
सर अगर
at different places. Anji.
ट्रिगर्स और इंडेक्सेस कॉपी करने हो तो फिर वो विजार्ड से कॉपी कर सकते हैं
नहीं,
टेबल से
ट्रिगर्स तो नहीं होते हैं, उसके लिए फिर एक अलग विजार्ड होता है एक्चुअली, वो मैं आपको ना फिर बाद में कवर करूंगा। अगर आपको ट्रिगर्स इंडेक्स ये सब चीज़ें करनी हो ना, तो एक और ऑप्शन होता है, आप इसको एक्सप्लोर कर लेना अगर आपको जल्दी चाहिए तो। जनरेट स्क्रिप्ट्स ये ऑप्शन होता है फिर उसके लिए, अगर आपको सारे इंडेक्स भी कॉपी करने हैं, आपको सारे कॉन्स्टेंट भी कॉपी करने हैं, ट्रिगर भी कॉपी करने हैं, तब यहाँ ये वाला यूज़ करेंगे तब जनरेट स्क्रिप्ट्स।
ओके
आप इसको एक्सप्लोर करना, हालांकि मैं इसको कवर करूंगा, बट अगर आपको जल्दी चाहिए तो आप यू कैन ट्राई इट।
ओके
सो दैट्स ऑल फॉर टुडे सेशन। इफ एनी क्वेश्चंस यू कैन आस्क, अदरवाइज वी विल वाइंड अप। नो क्वेश्चंस? ओके देन, सो लेट्स मीट टुमारो देन। थैंक यू एवरीवन।
Thank you.
बाय।
Thank you.